It does have good recipes. They're all well done and well thought out. And they were done, for people who want to actually prepare food for the children that is good and healthful and not going to give them hyperactivity reactions and not going to stimulate their ADD, so-called. Yeah, these recipes are quite good. I appreciate that. I do. Who do we have now on the Savage Nation? Cesare, New York, WOR. Go ahead, please.
Thank you for taking my call, and happy early 4th of July to you. It is incredible to see Gibbs become so nervous, anxious, that nervous laughter of his,
He sounded like a schoolgirl who was asked to dance by the captain of the football team.
Like someone is like, no, it's like the kid in the back of the classroom that doesn't know the answer. That's what it sounded like. And like when he's
Have you ever heard a press secretary giggle like a schoolgirl in your life?
No, I can't say that I have.
No, there's not a history of it, of any spokesmouth for a president ever giggling like that. Never. It's never happened before.
And I hope
that's why I played it, because I couldn't believe what I was listening to. It's as though it's a movie made about the meltdown of a nation.
You're absolutely right about bad Chinese food. There's none of it anywhere. I had the worst meal in my entire...
Wait. Now you're shifting gears on me. You're faster than I am. Where? What city?
I live in Providence, Rhode Island.
Yeah, but don't tell me you can't get Italian food in Providence.
Actually, there was probably only one place that I would ever go to. Actually, there's two places. One of them got closed down because it was a real home Italian food, not like this nouveau, out for Italian food.
Yeah, right. Let's swirl wine in a glass.
Exactly. That place got closed down. There used to be an incredible, authentic Japanese place that was open for 30 years.
I knew Italian restaurants on Mulberry Street. If anyone swirled wine, they would take it in the back and give it a whipping. They brought out water glasses and a jug of wine, and if you didn't drink it, they looked at you like you were crazy. And don't complain about it, in those days. If you asked for coffee, they gave you coffee. They didn't have 16 different labels. For coffee, they never heard of any such thing.
It's a lot.
Either it was coffee or espresso. They said espresso or coffee, that's all. That's all they knew. They never heard of double squeezed frappuccino from the bean should be from 4,600 feet in the mountains of the Himalayas with the special spring water flown in from Brooklyn. I never saw anything like these people.
God, it's a lack of respect and responsibility.
With Yama milk, with special pregnant Yama milk they want squeezed into the coffee cup, but it should be low fat on top of that, on top of it all.
Exactly.
Could you imagine drinking low-fat pregnant Yama milk? I couldn't drink that stuff. Yet in San Francisco, it's part of a frappuccino. You get in a coffee shop here, you can have a nervous breakdown till you get till you reach the cashier. So what else is bothering you today? You called about the giggling Robert Gibbs, the spokesmouth for Obama. You told me there's no good food where, in Providence or New York?
Providence.
And you mean Chinese?
Chinese,
right.
Italian.
The only places that you can get decent Chinese food are in San Francisco and New York, where there are large Chinese populations. But even there, you've got to kind of know where to go and watch your step.
Actually, there are a couple of small places that no one really knows about, like down in alley.
Good. I don't really want to know about them right now. Thank you. I'll be right back.
Armstrong and Getty, weekday morning 6 to 10.
They kind of break the monotony of life.
Talk 910 KNEW.
It is the one and only unique Savage Nation, the only talk show host in America not on vacation yet. But tomorrow is another day, flying off into the infinity of the stratosphere, like everyone else, a lemming on the run, a lemming on the move. Air France crash findings released. Nothing. They know nothing. They found nothing. They find a black box, the pink box, the yellow box, nothing. No from nothing. It was reported by the French Secret Service that 2 radical Muslims were on the plane. That came out for about 3 minutes, and then it was swept under the rug by this swine in the media who didn't want you to put 2 and 2 together. They're supposed to believe it was a storm, even though we know that every plane goes through storms and doesn't. Basically, you don't crash. Then they said lightning. They have 2 days the idiots in the media said it was lightning, even though we found out later, as we all knew, that all planes are hit by lightning and they don't crash. Then the schmucks in the media were told that it might have been something else, but we're going to find it. We didn't find it, but we don't know what it is. But any minute we're going to find the pink box. The pink box wasn't found, but we can tell you definitively that we don't know anything about radical Muslims on the plane, and it's probably pilot error because they're dead anyway. So in other words, you got nothing out of the press. They're on vacation as well. Okay, so that's why we're talking about everything under the sun in the Savage Nation. There are many stories we can cover. Los Angeles, KGIL, Stan, you're on the program. Go ahead, please.
Dr. Savage, another ex-New Yorker talking to you.
Sorry to hear it.
By the way, you were just talking about that airplane crash. I have my degree in aeronautical engineering, so I know a little
You
about
do? You actually went to college and learned something? You must be over 50.
I'm a decade older than you are, Dr. Savage.
You're a decade older than me, and you're I love aeronautical engineering. What a great field.
It was
What a great field. Now, wait a minute. If you're in your 70s, is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
So when you went to college, it was in the 50s.
Well, I graduated from New York University School of Engineering in the early 50s.
They don't have an engineering school anymore, do they? Now it's all dance therapy?
1973, they sold it.
No, I'm saying in your days, NYU had a school of engineering. Today, they turned it into a school of dance therapy, I think.
Well, pretty much. We had the first Guggenheim School of Aeronautics in the country.
Amazing.
Guggenheim, Harry Guggenheim and so on. Set up various...
So let me ask you, wait, Stan, so you're a smart guy, highly educated, you live in L.A., and you listen to the show, and the reason you called is?
Well, I talk about any topic that you wanted to talk about.
That's good. That means you're bored to death already for the long weekend ahead of you.
Oh, not quite. I'm a pretty busy guy. A consummate do-it-yourselfer, so I keep busy.
What? No, Stan, I'm serious. Come on now. You live in L.A., you're an ex-New Yorker, and you're not a liberal? How'd that happen?
Well, I might be partially liberal.
All right, thank God. I was just testing to see because I was afraid that something was wrong with this picture, because a guy from your generation who went to NYU, if you're not part liberal, then something's wrong with the picture. All I care about is I don't care what a person's politics are as long as they're willing to reason with me. Then we can get somewhere. And if I have a president, I don't care whether he's Democrat or Republican, if he's robbing the public, don't you think it's my obligation to point it out?
You betcha. And
All right, so I did so for 8 straight years with Bush, and I have an obligation to tell you when I think that the Obama administration is screwing the public. Isn't that my job?
It certainly is. You know, when you talk about health plans, I'm a retired federal employee. Federal employees' health benefit plan. Anything they're talking about now can work against us.
Wait a minute. You mean the new health proposal that the Great One is proposing will actually take away benefits from federal workers?
I believe so.
Well, yes, I would expect everyone's going to pay something in order to make certain that the 30 million illegal aliens get free medical care. Make no mistake about it. This plan is being put in place knowing what the next step is, which is granting illegal immigrants citizenship and putting all of them on the government health program. So who do you think is going to pay for them?
We will, of course.
Well, Stan, we're bankrupt as it is. How much more can we take?
Well,
I'm almost out of time. Stan, God bless you. I'm sending you a free copy of Psychological Nudity because of all the people who called today, you might like some of the stories. Stay on the line. And if you want to buy yourself a present for July 4th, you can't buy any of my books. It's too late, but you can buy them for July 9th on michaelsavage.com. I'm going to be off tomorrow. With God's will and your listenership, I'll be back sometime in the future.
Savage. Michael Savage. Afternoons 3 to 7 on Talk 910 KNEW and online at 910KNEW.com.
Now, I was watching there's a couple of channels I'm addicted to on television. I admit I'm going blind from the internet and television. It's sad. I'm addicted. I can't stop it, but that's the way it is. It's horrible. Everything's blurry. And then I watch military history almost incessantly, and I watch History Channel almost incessantly. And last night on HDTV, I was bored. I watched a thing on the occult in the Third Reich under Hitler that, it's alleged that Hitler was a Christian. And his henchmen were Christians, but you well know and I well know that they weren't. They had been born, of course, in Catholic nations or such, but they were all devout occultists, and they practiced the occult behind the scenes. Most Germans did not know that they were led by an occult maniac, Adolf Hitler, and was surrounded by Satanists. And to this day, they don't understand that they were surrounded by Satanists, nor do the American people themselves understand what was going on historically, because they don't teach any of this. They don't understand that most of the atrocities, not all of them, were carried out by the SS, who answered only to Hitler, separate from the Wehrmacht, which does not mean there were not atrocities conducted by the Wehrmacht, the German army, but it's important for you to understand this, to understand what was going on. These children were brainwashed in a Hitler youth from childhood on. Think about it. If a boy was born in 1920